Join Potato Club today and too sweet that subscribe button.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my review of the Royal Rumble 2018. The Royal Rumble is like a bus. You'd be like, what do you mean by that? The Royal Rumble's like a bus. You wait years for a good one, and then two come at once. Absolutely amazing pay-per-view. Two amazing Royal Rumbles came at the same time. The Women's Royal Rumble was amazing. The Men's Royal Rumble was amazing. The rest of the show was a bit meh, to be honest. But the Royal Rumble matches, woo boy. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to go through this match by match, discuss my thoughts and stuff like that, and we will get on with the show. First off, there was about a 6-hour pre-show. It took pretty much all day to get through the pre-show. It was a very long pre-show. We had a 6-man tag from 205 Live. The masked team beat the non-masked team. People in masks beat people without masks, apparently. So, you know, that's a preview of maybe Rey Mysterio coming back later on. Spoilers. Also, Gulak is amazing. Drew Gulak is the best thing ever. Club versus Revival, 50-50 booking. Classic 50-50 booking. Revival lost on Raw 25, so the club... So now the club loses, so whatever. The Open Challenge is back. Bobby Roode doing an Open Challenge. Amazing stuff. I love an Open Challenge. Open Challenge is like my favorite thing in WWE. They should always do it. They should always have Open Challenges all the time. That should just be a thing. And he faced Mojo Rawley. Beat Mojo Rawley. Simple as that. Then there was a commercial for KFC Rumble. I wonder where I've seen that before. I wonder where I saw KFC Rumble before. Then the big show kicked off with AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. As I thought it was a bit of a... It felt like a SmackDown main event, and that's pretty much what it was. AJ Styles won, but he pinned the wrong guy. He pinned Kevin Owens when Sami Zayn was the legal man. So, controversy. Yay. Yeah. The Usos beat American Alpha 2-0. Or no, American Greatest Tag Team. America's Greatest Tag Team. Also, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin lost 2-0 in a best-of-3 match. It was kind of... no one really cared. Then we had the best match of the show. One of the best Royal Rumble matches I have ever seen. The Royal Rumble. So much stuff we're going to get through with this Royal Rumble. I'm just going to knock out some points here. Rusev is the most over guy in WWE. Even bleeding over into the women's Royal Rumble where Lana was in the match and they were still chanting Rusev Day. Rusev Day chants were bonkers the whole match. Even after Rusev got eliminated, it was still Rusev Day chants. Aiden English coming in, there was Rusev Day chants. There's so much Rusev Day stuff. It was insane. Rusev is so over. Give him a chance at the US title. Have Bobby Roode versus Rusev at WrestleMania. That's a good match. Book that. So that's that part. Balor, entry number 2. Insane stuff. I thought Balor had a good chance of winning this match, and he put him really early on in the match. He did get to the last 4, so... But then, I'm recording this after Raw, and he just got buried by John Cena, so... Balor for life. Yeah. On the positive side, Balor was the Iron Man in this Royal Rumble. He lasted to 57 minutes. He was in the Royal Rumble for 57 minutes, entry number 2 till the last 4. So, great performance for Finn Balor. Looked amazing. Just a shame that, obviously, he didn't win it. Well, I'm quite happy with the winner, but you know what I'm saying. And it's a shame that he's not in the Elimination Chamber either, so I'm spoiling Raw for you if you haven't seen it, so sorry about that. Kofi does his classic survival technique. He always survives the Royal Rumble. He always survives elimination. This time, he stood on Xavier Woods' chest, so he only had one foot on the ground, and then he stood on pancakes, which was insane and super silly. And then he used the rest of the New Day to Pogo into the match. So that was all good stuff. Loved it. Kofi's had some really amazing, inventive spots and had some really lame spots to get back in the Royal Rumble. That was one of his better ones. I really enjoyed that. It was really funny. So, kudos. NXT call-ups. Well, not call-ups. They're just in the Royal Rumble. They're probably going back down to NXT. It was amazing seeing Cien Almas. Probably the biggest surprise of the Rumble for me, apart from Rey Mysterio, which we'll get to. Absolutely a huge pop. Amazing stuff seeing the NXT champion. And he did such a good job as well. He had a really good run. He had an amazing match with Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver, which was about 35 minutes. And it was an insane back and forth matchup, and it was intense as hell. And then he went into the Royal Rumble match and had a very long performance. I think he was in there for a good half an hour. He eventually got eliminated when he went for a move off the top rope, and Randy Orton caught him with an RKO and then eliminated him. But good showing from Almas, good showing from the NXT champion. And then also Adam Cole, baby, was in the Royal Rumble, which I marked out for. You can see my reaction to me marking out with that, like showing off my Undisputed Era shirt. That's how weird I am. But yeah, good showing from NXT. So that was cool. Then we had the really good surprise entrances. We had Rey Mysterio coming out, looking in great shape. I was never a fan of Rey Mysterio with his first run. I'm going to be perfectly honest. He wasn't my type of... that personally, but it's really nice to see him back. So I'm really excited for that. I was I marked out. Obviously, and then the Hurricane. Oh, the Hurricane coming back was like the best thing ever. It was so good. Trying to choke slam John Cena, and John Cena just no-selling it and just throwing him out. I wish he had a little bit longer in the Rumble, but that's a little gripe. Also, and it's not in my notes, but I forgot to mention it. Heath Slater, the best running gag of the whole Royal Rumble, didn't get in the ring, and then every single person just kept kicking him down, and kept knocking him down when he went to the ring. Big E trying to feed him pancakes. And then the one guy who shows him some sympathy, Sheamus, throwing him in the ring, and then Sheamus getting eliminated by Heath Slater. It's like, that's what happens when you're a nice guy, Sheamus. I'm sorry, and he ruined your birthday for you, which is not cool. Not cool, Heath. Not cool. Yeah, that was a cool moment. There's so many great things in this Royal Rumble. Cena, Roman were both standing face to face, and the crowd was going, "You both suck. You both suck. You both suck," which I marked out for, not gonna lie, made me laugh. But yeah, that was a great Royal Rumble, and of course, the winner was Shinsuke Nakamura from entry number 14. They were saying in commentary that when you get to the teens, like the middle of when you're in the tens, there's only 4 people who've won it from that number, or from those numbers. So, kudos, defying the odds, Nakamura. I think that was a good way of doing it. So, built that up. I was super into the Royal Rumble. One of my favorite Royal Rumbles of all time. Probably gonna go rewatch it again later. So good, worth watching. One of the best Royal Rumbles ever. Roman Reigns versus Nakamura at the end was hand on heart stuff. I was having an anxiety attack because I didn't want Roman Reigns to win. Not that I don't hate Roman Reigns. Before people always get on my back saying I hate Roman Reigns. I just didn't want him to win the Royal Rumble because I felt like Nakamura needed it more. I even put my money. I said Roman was going to win it, so I was wrong. But I'm happy to be wrong in this case. So that was that. And then also Nakamura, AJ Styles confirmed. He already said he's going for AJ Styles. So yes. Vince McMahon, you give me the match I want for WrestleMania. You go nuts with the Universal title. Do whatever you like. I don't care. You can do what you like with the Universal title. As long as I get AJ Styles versus Nakamura for the WWE title, I'm happy. And then the Bar beats Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins because Jason Jordan had a concussion, which I didn't think you could do concussions kayfabe, but I guess you can. And then it was the big triple threat match. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Kane, Beast versus Monster versus Machine. Notable points, a lot of cool big spots, tables, announce tables, flipping over announce tables. But the thing that I remember the most from that match is Braun Strowman kneeing Brock Lesnar in the head, and then Brock Lesnar getting pissed off and legitimately punching Braun Strowman in the face. Like a stiff, proper punch to the face to Braun Strowman. I don't think he was happy with Braun because of that. So It was a good match, very predictable. We all knew the Brock was going to pin Kane. That was kind of the whole reason Kane was in the match, so we already knew that going in, so there you go. And then it comes to our main event, which I was shocked was going to be our main event, but I was so happy it was. The Women's Royal Rumble. Amazing stuff. I'm so happy to see this in the main event of the Royal Rumble. I was shocked it was the main event. I thought it was going to be the opening match, to be honest. It was so nice to see the Women's Royal Rumble in the main event. Because I used to watch NXT quite a lot. I still do. NXT Rival was the first show I watched, which was Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha versus Bayley in a fatal 4-way. The 4 horsewomen facing each other in a fatal 4-way. And that match stole the show of NXT Rival. And then the women's matches stole every show of every NXT takeover since that afterwards. And then they came up to the main roster, they botched it a little bit, but then they eventually got back on track with it. Did like the way they hot potatoed the Raw title with Sasha and Charlotte, but I did like their rivalry. But it was just really cool stuff to see how women's wrestling has progressed. I like a bit of eye candy, like the next man. I mean, you get a lot of eye candy in this match. You got Tori Wilson coming back and stuff like that. But it is nice to see women's wrestling actually getting represented, because they actually are some very good wrestlers. If you watch Bayley versus Sasha Banks from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, that is an amazing match. If you don't think the women can wrestle, then watch that. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, the Women's Royal Rumble, great main event. It felt more like a gimmick match to me, though. That was the only downside, because the amount of legends that were in it. But they needed to fill the roster up. There wasn't enough women to fill the Royal Rumble, so it makes sense, I guess. But just bring up some more NXT guys. I did like the legends, though. There was 11 women in the 11 legends from the Royal Rumble, so that's over a third of the field was legends. So you had, I'm gonna go through the legends list here: Lita, Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix, Jacqueline, Trish, Molly Holly, Kelly Kelly, Vicky Guerrero, Nikki Bella, and Brie Bella. So 11 out of 30 were legends. So it was kind of cool to see them all come back. It was kind of a who's who of women's wrestling history. Next year, I don't see all those legends coming back if they do another Women's Royal Rumble, so they need to build up their rosters a bit more and add a couple more women. Maybe even a women's tag team division or a women's mid-card title would be pretty good. So that's just my opinion. But then that's all the women's, the legend stuff. Michelle McCool coming in, getting an Undertaker chance, which I thought was funny. Also, I think she now has the record for the most eliminations in a Women's Royal Rumble. I think she eliminated 4 or 5. Didn't get the exact number. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So if you guys know the exact number, comment below. Sasha was the Iron Woman. Entry number 1 lasted till the final 4. Very similar role as Finn Balor from the men's run. We had NXT call-ups again, or not call-ups, but appearances. Kairi Sane with her amazing elbow drop, marked out huge for Kairi Sane, and then Ember Moon as well, going head-to-head with Nia Jax with one arm in a sling as well. Well, not in a sling, it was all wrapped up, but battered and bruised. Amazing stuff. And then you had Naomi. There's a lot of similarities to the men's Royal Rumble, which I noticed, but I guess it's the format is, you've got a format for it now, so just stick to it. You always have an Iron Man, you always have a monster, and you always have Kofi. and this one is no different, because instead of Kofi, you had Naomi, who thinks she's Kofi. She landed on the barricade, walked around the barricade, then stood on the chair, and then dragged herself across the floor with her feet on the chair, which was cool. It was quite a cool spot. But it was very Kofi-esque. It's like, I'm sure I've seen Kofi do stuff very similar to that. He did he pogoed on a chair before, and he also ran across a barricade and jumped into the ring. So he's done very similar things. But hey, it's cool. I like. We're gonna get 2. If Naomi takes that roll up in the Women's Royal Rumble every year, that means we're gonna get 2 nearly fall into the ground escapes a year, which I dig that. That's cool. That's like, everyone loves the Kofi spot, so if we get a Naomi spot every year as well on top of that, I dig it. Cool. There was some really cool face-offs. There was Ember Moon and Asuka facing off, which was like throwback to the NXT rivalry they had, which was one of the best rivalries in NXT. Trish and Mickey facing off. Trish doing that, and the crowd marking out. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Very funny WrestleMania moment from. They've even deleted that from the videos and stuff, which is crazy. Sasha eliminated Bayley in a really heel move and kind of went total heel at the end. She got the Bella Twins and teamed up on Asuka. So is Sasha a heel now? Is the Royal Rumble was turned a heel? Nikki Bella knocking Brie Bella out because she's stupid. Because she's like Brie Bella got onto the apron and just stayed there. It's like, oh Brie, get in the ring, you dumb girl. She just stood there. It's like, yeah, I'll stay here. I'm safe. And then Nikki just punches her out. Like, come on now. Silly stuff. And of course, the winner was Asuka. Really cool stuff to see Asuka win it. Didn't really particularly like the way she won it. She just kicked Nikki in the shin. And then Nikki just fell off. Kind of anticlimactic. I think they should have... Asuka did this thing where she stuck a leg around Nikki's head and pulled her over. If that was the way she eliminated her, that would have been a much cooler way to eliminate Nikki, I think. But that's just me. And it was like, oh my god, Asuka's won. Amazing stuff. Who's she going to face at WrestleMania? This is the best moment ever. Like, I feel so happy for Asuka. She's doing so well. And then Ronda Rousey comes out and totally seals Asuka's thunder. Like, no, not cool, Ronda. Not cool, Ronda. It was cool to see Ronda Rousey there in Roddy Piper's jacket. So that's why people were slagging her off for saying she had a big jacket on and it looked stupid on her. That's Roddy Piper's jacket. So chillax, guys. But it was cool to see Ronda Rousey, but I still feel she stole Asuka's thunder and also stole thunder from the Women's Royal Rumble. First ever Women's Royal Rumble. And it's like, yeah, that was amazing. And then Ronda Rousey comes out and is like, forget that. That was rubbish. Who cares? I'm going to WrestleMania. Points to the side. Like, that's pretty much all it was to me. It's like, okay. It's basically like, I don't care if you win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. I'm main eventing WrestleMania. That's kind of what I got from it, which was kind of dick move, Ronda. Dick move. Yeah, but cool. Cool to see Ronda Rousey. Really good main event. Really good show from start to finish. And... yeah, that's all I have to really say about the Women's Royal Rumble as well. And that's all I'm really going to say about Royal Rumble. I got 3 out of 6 predictions. Half the time, I'm right all the time. Only person to comment in the prediction video was BQ613, who got 2 out of 6 right. He predicted exactly the same stuff as me, apart from I said Asuka was going to win, which she did. And he said the Ronda Rousey was going to win. But Ronda Rousey sort of won. In a weird way, she came in and just stole her thunder. So you could argue that you've got the same amount of points as me. So yeah, that's my Royal Rumble review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a longer review than normal. It's one of my longer reviews because there's so much to get through. But it was a great show. Loved it. Brilliant match. Brilliant matches. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm gonna give this a predictable 4.5 stars out of 5. Whenever I like a pay-per-view, they get 4.5 stars. It's quite a common mark from me. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. And until next time, too sweet. We're getting Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. Oh my god!
Join Potato Club today and too sweet that subscribe button.